What's up, guys? It's been a while. I saw a comment today, and this guy is basically asking if I was still trading. So, Investment Punk, this is for you, dude. Um, yeah, I pulled up my videos and realized I haven't posted a video in, what is it, 4 months? Is that right? Maybe five? Anyway, yes, I'm still trading very actively. I've been really busy with just some, for those of you who are aware, Um, I have a passion project. Well, it's actually turned into a passion project, but it's healthcare related on the technology and data side, and so that is taking away about 50 hours a week of my time. And then I got a family, so between that and I've got a handful of subscribers that I teach on a weekly basis, a few times a week. And so between that and working with programmers and building out the system, I mean, there's just this leaves very little time for me to jump on YouTube. But I'm gonna eventually I'll be back to posting on a regular basis, but don't expect it for right now. But what I thought I would do is show you guys what I've been working on, because things have come a long way over the last few months. And there's one goal in mind here, and it is to truly free myself from the machine completely. Because, guys, at the end of the day, there's no reason I should have to sit here in front of the machine and execute trades. I should be able to get it to a point where I am 100% free from that, and I can have the machine doing all the work for me. And it's been a dream of mine for years to get here, but to find a strategy that you can build out to that state, it's very challenging. I'm not going to lie. So, I've gone through thousands and thousands and thousands of tests, and guys, I'm getting close. So, but what I thought I'd show you all today is probably the most exciting thing that I have put together since I've been trading. And it's not done yet. Probably couple months away from being completely done, but you're going to see the vision, and you're going to see how it's all coming together very nicely. So as I've shown you guys before, it doesn't matter what market this is. Okay, you can see I've got stocks pulled up right now, and ticker symbol A, whatever the hell that is. All right, all I've done is I've just taken the S&P 500, and I'm just going down the list alphabetically. So here is the first one. You do the same thing in forex, all right? Anyway, the premise of the system is it all starts with the high time frame, which is my chart here on the right, 240 minutes. Now, you can change that if you want more trades. And then these green zones are buy zones. Red zones are sell zones. And then down here you have a trend. So green is telling me that the market structure is bullish. Red is telling me the market structure is bearish. Alright, so it's very objective. Then all I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for price to come into a buy zone or a sell zone. And then once price is inside that zone, I want to come over to my 60-minute chart, which is the one on the left, and I want to wait for a fresh zone to print that lines up inside of that 240-minute zone. As you can see, I have a zone here. However, it's an old zone, so for me personally, I wouldn't take it, even though this worked out very well. All right, it's not one I would consider. Okay, now we come into it again, and you can see I do get a zone here, and it ends up being a loser. And then I get another zone right here, and it's a nice winner. So that's the premise. All right. Now, for the exciting part, guys, it's almost automated. I have it functioning. It's about 85–90% there. There's a couple things that still need some work, but you can see. Now this is taking all signals, and the reason I'm doing that, is I need to get as many trades as possible so I can make sure it's functioning properly. When I say all signals, I mean it's not just taking the ones where I have the overlaps. It's also taking other ones. But this one actually is an overlap. And so the entry would be right, it's hard to see it maybe, right here where this X is. That's my entry. And then there's my target. Okay, so if we continue moving forward here, I've got another entry right here. And then this one also is inside that high time frame zone. And then there's the target. All right, so this particular stock has done very well. And imagine just having a platform that can just feed you these signals across the 500 stocks or across 15, 20 forex pairs, whatever it is that you watch, and then you can come into the platform and turn it on, and it will trade this for you. It will automatically position size. It will position size based on what your personal risk tolerance is, and then it will take the trades for you. All right, but I want to show you guys something that is even more exciting and more powerful than what we're talking about here. So let's strip the market down. The market in its most simplistic form is just an auction, right? So if you think of every single price as an auctioneer trying to auction off, say, a car, right? If price is perceived to be low, you're going to have a lot of bidders bidding on that car, which is going to drive the price higher. And as prices go higher, you're going to have fewer and fewer participants willing to pay that higher price. So you're going to start seeing periods of consolidation or possibly a move down until it gets to a point where price is perceived to be a good value again. So that's it, right? That's the most simplistic form of the market. Now, as technicians, market technicians, meaning we trade patterns, we trade structure, market structure is fundamental to the market, right? It is what you would consider to be a leading indicator, right? It's not like a moving average. It's not like a MACD or a stochastic, which is measured based on price, and so it lags prices. It's kind of leading, right? We have higher highs, higher lows. Market comes into the market structure. We expect price to go higher. Now, the key to that is having an objective way to determine market structure so that you can test it the same way over and over and over. What's the other thing that's very fundamental to the market? Volume. As you all know, volume, if you use a volume indicator, it's just full of it's a histogram with just some lines, right? What do those lines mean? I've never been able to understand it. Maybe I'm just not smart enough. Maybe there's a handful of you guys out there who do use it very successfully, consistently. I just have never been able to. And so when I built the market structure, I started thinking, is there any way to analyze the volume that's actually inside of the market structure to give me an idea of what zones might be the most powerful? And so let's back up to maybe this zone right here. If we look at this zone, I'm going to blow this chart up, okay? All right. This zone confirms right here. So if I had a program, it would alert me right at this point that, hey, you've got a potential sell zone, and it lines up with a sell zone on the 240-minute chart. Okay, criteria 1 met. So what if I wanted to, the next thing I wanted to do here was take this low to high range, and I wanted to analyze every single bid and ask that was traded at every single penny. So 69, 63, 62, 57, blah, 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 all the way down to here. Okay, every penny. Run an analysis on all the bids and all the ask at that point, looking left. Okay, and then select a time period that I want to do that. Do I want to do it over a week? Do I want to do it over a month? I've decided to do a month, and so what happens is it's actually calculating about there's about 86 million different iterations that run when this criteria is when this happens, and it depends on the size of the zone, but the average is about 86 million different calculations that get ran. What's the problem with that? It locks up my machine. So I hit a significant roadblock a couple months ago trying to build this. I couldn't run it because there was just too much going on. Now that means two things: either my computer's not powerful enough, or two, the script isn't efficient. I actually don't know which one, but I am back on track, and what I am actually building out now. Well, I'll save that for a couple minutes. Let me finish this. I don't want to skip around too much. So now, if I come in here and I go to Drawing Tools and I go to Volume Range, I now have a way to analyze this. All right. So what this is telling me, and I only care about the number on the left, because that's what I would see at the time that this zone forms. What this is telling me is 9% of the month's volume falls between this range. So it's analyzing all the volume at each penny, and it's telling me that 9% of the volume lines up right in here. Is that significant? For me personally, I don't think it is. So I would just ignore this zone, which ends up being a nice trade. You can see it hits its target, but it would have gone and hit that target without me. All right, so that's fine. All right, so let's move forward, and now let's find our next zone where we overlap. Okay, it's going to be right here. So let's do the same calculation. All right, here we go. So what this is telling me is 42% of the month's volume falls in this range. Now, partly maybe because we're at the beginning of the month. So if that's the case, maybe we should move down and look at a weekly. Let's do that. Let's see what the weekly says. Actually, this is a weekly. So 42% of the week falls in that zone. I thought this was actually on monthly. Is 42% significant? Hell yes, 42% is significant. So this is one that would alert me and tell me to take a trade, and you can see what happens from here, right? Even though the trend on this side is red, you can see that my high time frame trend is green, and this is a very significant volume zone. Now, if we look at month, I actually want to go back now, and I want to look at that sell zone because on the monthly side. So now it's 10% for the month. And so if I were analyzing on a monthly basis, this wouldn't hit my radar. Let's come back here and let's do the monthly. 7%. Okay, so it still would not hit my radar. This one here would have hit my radar on a weekly analysis, but not on a monthly. Now let's come in here and look at this one and see what it has to say. So 10%. So again, honestly, 10% is not going to be significant enough for me to take notice. If we come in and we look at the weekly, we're at 21. Is 21 significant? Well, I don't know. I don't have this automated yet to where I can go analyze it. Right now I have to do it all manually, otherwise it will lock up my machine. But you guys can see exactly where I'm headed with this, right? So what I'm working to build is I'm putting it all into a server environment. I'm building out a section in a website, which isn't, I don't even have a live website yet. I mean, I think there's one out there, but it's not, it hasn't been built. So what it will do though is the server will feed into the website, and every person will have the ability to go in there and create their own watch list, up to 500 signals or symbols, and then it will run in real time, hit the site, and will alert you of anything that's setting up. You can imagine how powerful that'll be across 500 different stocks. So let's do this. Let's just here. This is the list of the S&P 500. So let's just go down and let's take a look at another one and do some more analysis here. Okay, is it ready? I think so. All right, so what I'm looking for is any kind of a zone that lines up inside of the high time frame, and then I want to run my volume analysis to see how we do. Okay, so here's one where I do have a very high percent of the volume in this range, and this one would not have worked out. It actually ended up working out, but not inside my zone. So for me, it would have been a loss, and my entry would have come down here. So I would have just had one entry in there, and it would not have worked out. So let's see if we can find find another one. Okay, here, let's take a look at this one. %. Okay, so 52% of the month's volume falls inside. This is month, right? Gosh darn it. A week. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, so 18% of the month's volume falls inside of here. And this, you can see this would have been a great trade. So now let's go back and let's take a look at, I'm curious what this one is on a monthly basis. And you know what? Maybe it's going to tell me weekly is the way to go. I'll get an idea once the script is done. So 15% here. So I actually would not have taken a trade here. So here's what the takeaway should be here, guys. There are not going to be a lot of signals, okay? And that is my whole point. I don't want a lot of signals. So here's 17%. Maybe anything over 15 is our number. That would have given us two nice trades, one here that hit target, and then we would have had one here. Now the reason this doesn't show a trade is because I have it set right now to only take specific bars. So if we come into the script, you can see right here, these are the different candles. So I have it set to only take these specific candles if they trigger. All right. Otherwise, it would just take a down red bar and would enter a trade. All right. So, guys, that's what I've been working on, and it's coming together quite nicely. And most importantly, guys, if you think about it this way. If this gives me 3 to 4 trades a year per stock, and I've got 500 stocks, I'm setting myself up to be able to create very abnormal returns on a consistent basis, which does wonders for growing a retirement account, does wonders for planning for your family's future. That's what this is about. All right. Now, how all these signals end up getting fed, I'm really curious myself to see how that all works out, but I've been told by a guy who's a very high-level programmer that he can make this happen. So, sorry for the long video, guys, and sorry for the for going dark on YouTube and not creating any videos. I've been programming with and going through a bunch of different iterations of things, and just didn't have a whole lot to discuss. So I didn't see a need to be on there. So anyway, hope you all are having a great weekend.